2022, and the NSDC's March 9th general meeting is formally called to order. We have definitely established a quorum, and I want to welcome all of our members and guests. It was really great to see so many of you here before the meeting started. We want to welcome all of our members and guests here tonight for our monthly meeting. I want to start by welcoming and introducing the members of the executive board for the Northern Solano Democratic Club for 2026. I'm going to start with our vice president, Rita Deanda, our secretary, Nancy Federley, our outreach chair, Julia Routson-Thomas, and our treasurer, Don Lowry, and also our exceptional alternates this year. I'm going to start with Gian McDougall, Kaz Paget, Clara Oakes, Tanya Alston, and I'm hoping that we will see Tony Yang a little bit later. We're really grateful for the contributions of our alternates and are really thankful for their willingness to serve. We're going to start with our land acknowledgement, and we're going to ask Michelle Pellegrin to read our land acknowledgement. We'll have it put up on the screen for you, Michelle.
Oh, good, because I didn't have it. Land acknowledgement statement. We should take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we are gathered for this meeting. For thousands of years, this land has been the home of the Patwin people, including the Yocha Dehe Wintu Nation. The Patwin people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. It has been cherished and protected as elders have instructed the young through generations. We are honored and grateful to be gathered here today on their traditional lands.
Thank you, Michelle. Before we start the business portion of our meeting, we're going to have a few moments of silence. Right now, our country seems adrift in a sea of violence and insecurity. Let's spend a few moments thinking about ways to find light and inspiration during this challenging period in our country. Thank you. For those of you that have announcement requests for later in the meeting, please submit them to me in the chat, or you can text me. I'm going to put my number in the chat. So if you want to send an announcement to me quietly, you can do so during the meeting, and I will add them to the list of announcements in the order that I get them. And before we move on to our featured speaker, I would like to ask everyone to remain muted during the presentation and to direct your questions in the chat to Rita Deanda, who will be introducing our speaker, and then we'll moderate the question and answer period afterwards. Rita?
Thank you, and good evening to everybody. I want to introduce Ashley Banta. And Ashley, if I say anything incorrect, please don't hesitate to correct me when it's your turn to speak. Ashley is a former, and I'm getting this information from her bio on the Opportunity House, so I selectively plagiarized some of your information. She's a former resident of the program and is now the executive director. When she walked through the doors of Opportunity House, she was 90 days sober with 2 bags of belongings. She had lost her children, her job, and her home. Opportunity House accepted her into the program despite her criminal history and substance abuse disorder. After graduating from Opportunity House, she knew she wanted to continue to be of service to others. She returned to work for Opportunity House, where she continues to advocate for those who are still unhoused, for those who are trying to break the chains of substance use and generational poverty. I'll turn it over to you, Ashley, and you can fill in all the gaps. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that introduction. Yeah, that's my name is Ashley Banta, and I am currently the executive director of Opportunity House. Opportunity House is a homeless shelter and service provider in Vacaville. We do serve all of Solano County. Opportunity House has been in Vacaville and serving Solano County homeless individuals and population we just celebrated our 35th anniversary this last year. So it's really exciting to have been an organization that has been providing services to our unhoused for that long. As Rita mentioned, I received services from Opportunity House myself in 2018. I did attend substance use treatment in San Pablo, and I'm originally from Contra Costa County. So yeah, I've been clean and sober for 7 years now. After getting clean and sober in Contra Costa County, and facing criminal charges there, I heard about Vacaville and Opportunity House from one of my counselors, and they said, no, it's this great place where you can go and start over, and they help you get back on your feet. They help you get up in the morning, help you go get a job and go to work without drinking and all of those things. And I was like, well, I've got a lot going on. Like I have a felony charge. I have my kid's father. He's got stuff going on. I have 4 kids at the time, and they're like, "No, it's not a problem. This is exactly what we want to hear." And so, I went there and I started doing exactly that. I started listening to suggestions, working the program. And when I say working the program, I mean get a job, attend case management meetings, attend groups that we offer. So we do morning groups and evening groups. We offer evening groups as well between anger management, substance use, mental health, wellness, workforce development, and as well as, sorry, I was reading the chat at the same time, workforce development, resume writing, education, all of the things that could help individuals that get back on their feet to address the barriers that potentially led to their homelessness in the first place. And so after going through the program, I'd moved out. My work experience was always in the restaurant industry, and my college education was actually in engineering and mathematics, and I dropped out at that time. And so right around when COVID happened, I was like, well, I would love to work for an organization that, changed my life and really impacted my life. And so I went back to work for Opportunity House in the form of their kitchen manager, and just kind of started asking questions and learning how to case manage and asking, well, why this? Well, why that? Well, how does this system work for that? Like, or why does the system do that? And kind of poking holes in our system, I guess you could say. And eventually, became a case manager, became a housing navigator, worked with City of Vacaville for their emergency housing navigation program. Learned about grant writing, became the assistant executive director, and then when Colleen Baruman, who's my predecessor, resigned and moved on to a different organization, I stepped in as the interim and then eventually permanent executive director. And so I've been in this position now for 2 years and a little bit over 2 years. And that's what Opportunity House exactly does. And so we try to address homelessness and all the way from prevention. So serving individuals that are about to become homeless for the first time or happen to become homeless for a second time. And that could be in the form of a 3-day pay or quit, a 14-day or pay or quit notice, living in their car, living on a friend's house, couch surfing, or literally already in an encampment. So the prevention piece and the street outreach piece of individuals that are in the encampments. And so we work with individuals there, and then all the way up into triaging them and helping them get into whatever that is that they need, whether that's substance use, mental health treatment, detox, and or shelter. And so then we also run 2 shelters. So we have about a 48-bed shelter at Opportunity House on Bennett Hill Court, which most people are familiar with. We also have a second shelter, which is an 8-bed emergency shelter for transitional age youth, which is ages 18 to 24. So we do serve that age group as well. And then we also have a specific program that is working with the Vacaville Unified School District. So we're on 3 of their high schools, and we provide substance use diversion programs for the youth. And so as well as a flex class, which is starting to build relationships with at-risk youth individuals that are already unhoused or precariously unhoused or dealing with a lot of the barriers that lead to homelessness in their households with their parents and with their families. By building that relationship with them at the high schools, we're either preventing them and their families from becoming homeless, or we're building that relationship so when they turn 18, we've already built that relationship. So when they move into our shelter, that trust is already there and some of that pre-work has already been done. Then after the shelters, we run multiple different programs with financial subsidies to get individuals housed. So it's very highly housing focused on trying to get people jobs and into sustainable, affordable housing. So we work with a lot of landlords, a lot of private owners that own a home, but they rent out rooms in their house. A lot of the affordable housing apartments and housing choice vouchers within the city. We work really closely with the city of Vacaville with their housing choice voucher program to try to get that transitional housing piece of when our individuals have now become, they're clean, they're addressing their mental health, they're addressing whether that's substance use, they're addressing the domestic violence, whatever the barriers that led to their homelessness were. We really work on those things that stable, you're crisis and vulnerable, we get you kind of stable, and then we get you ready for housing, stay with you for up to 2 years after you get your permanent supportive housing to address all of those things that may have led to it in the beginning. Just by having a case manager there with you when you move into your house to make sure you pay your bills, make sure you don't use again, make sure you're taking your mental health medication. And sometimes it's as simple as just making sure that you're checking your mailbox, right? Like to check for bills or that you're taking your garbage out. Some of those things can be added stressors that can trigger some of those things that led to homelessness in the beginning. So we really keep the case managers with individuals all the way from prevention and or encampments all the way up until we get them housed. I know that was a lot I just threw at you. And then we do have the youth program, like I mentioned. Somebody put in the chat that what specifically do you have for seniors? We don't specifically have a senior program. All of our services are available for seniors as well. We are working on building something out a little bit more specific. Right now, currently just attending a lot of trainings and working with the agency, the different area agencies on aging. And trying to get I'm getting them involved with our coordinated entry system and our coordinated continuum of care. And so we are involved with our continuum of care. I know a lot of people have probably heard of the JPA structure or the COC structure. The COC stands for the continuum of care, which is the entire continuum of services throughout our entire county. I'm very active, Opportunity House is very active in working with that and making sure that again, the system works for our individuals. Being a person of lived experience and having gone through the system, I do have a first-hand question of falling through the cracks, or like you call this number, but it doesn't answer, but that number doesn't connect to this number. So really making sure that, yes, Opportunity House has all these wonderful services within Vacaville, and then we work really closely with our city of Vacaville Housing Authority, community development department and police department, but then also how do we fit regionally into our entire system of care as well. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, I know that was a lot of information. I guess I'll start looking at the questions. Programs for opportunities specifically for seniors, I can already that. Oh,
I was just going to say that if you
I
have
do know
questions.
that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ash.
No, go right ahead.
I was just going to say so that the
The
speaker
greatest
doesn't
need
have
at this
to.
time doesn't have to read and chat. Okay.
I was trying to avoid you having to look at chat and speaking at the same time and distracting it. So if people could send when the speaker is talking, if you could send instead of putting it into the chat for everyone, put it directly toward me, and then that way I'll monitor it and I can ask Ashley questions. Doesn't
Yeah, no worries.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, what can this group do for you? What is your most pressing need? And I think that's something that somebody else brought up. You know, what is it that you really need from the
Yeah.
community above and beyond what you already have, but very specific.
Yeah, so I'm really grateful. I know Richard has already begun to organize a donation fundraiser with this group for the dental hygiene needs, and that's one of the big things that is a need of ours. One program I didn't mention that we have lightweight piloted last year that we're trying to expand this year, hopefully with the city as well, is day center services. So we spent the last 5 years working in the encampments in Vacaville, working on street outreach, building that relationship, getting individuals to trust us and start working on how we're going to get them housed, right? Or how we're going to get them shelter. A big piece of that, though, is getting people acclimated to coming indoors and getting them used to coming inside to receive services. And one of the ways that we've been doing that is providing a shower program. So currently, right now, 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, we provide showers to any community member that's in need, as well as a hot meal. They can come in, get a hot meal, a cup of coffee, a shower, fresh clothes, hygiene products, dental hygiene products. As well as any time of the day they can come in and get any of those things. But specifically on Tuesdays and Fridays, they can come in and get showers and those things as well as we have case managers there ready to kind of start building that relationship and working with them. One of the things we're looking to expand to this next year is to take it from 2 days a week to 5 days a week. Currently, over the last year that we've been doing this, we have about 20 individuals coming in for showers each day, which is huge. And so being able to provide that 5 days a week is going to be really, really nice. But we do have needs, right? So the hygiene products, the dental hygiene products, we get tons of clothes already. One thing that we don't get a lot of that we do need that is like fresh underwear and fresh socks. Fresh socks a little bit easier to get, but sometimes people always forget you need underwear and bras. Like the undergarments are really important for individuals that are living in the elements. And so those are just real simple things that we could do that we could get. We're also trying to really pilot our volunteer program this year. So if there's anybody that is interested in volunteer groups, we're doing a lot of those things, as well as even like daily volunteers. I know in the past our thrift store has been the place to volunteer, but we're now trying to remove that over to the shelter as well to incorporate our volunteers and our community members that want to give back, that want to help, getting us to help at the shelter as well.
I was going to ask you too, if you could speak to the fact that I think most people think of Opportunity House as just being for women, but that's not true, is it?
Correct. No, so about 6 years ago, before me, I'd say maybe 7 years ago, Opportunity House did expand to start accepting men with children. After COVID, that kind of evolved to single men as well. And at this point in time, we accept all individuals, all family compositions, regardless of sexual identity, sexual preference, gender identity, all of the things. We have non-gender bathrooms. We have family bathrooms. Then we have men's bathrooms. We have women's bathrooms. We are a dorm style congregate living shelter, but we do move the compositions around to accommodate all individuals.
Thank you. I don't see any questions in the chat, and I think maybe because you were pretty thorough in your presentation. There's a lot of information there, and I recommend anybody to reach out to Ashley and get a tour of the place so you can see what is actually happening there. So,
Yeah.
but
yeah, if anyone is interested in a tour, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to share all of the love of the program with you guys. And you definitely do feel the services when you come in. Cash is always open.
Somebody wants to know if cash donations are okay. I assume they are.
Yes, those work too.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
No
And for
worries.
coming
Are
out
the two
to
people
meetings.
raising their hands, are those questions?
I had
or...
a question that's
Okay.
in that Rita.
I'm sorry, I
So
didn't see your
Ashley,
hand. Go
pardon
ahead,
me?
Kathy. Go ahead, Kathy.
I had typed it in, but you must anyway. So does the underwear have to be new? And what are your most needed sizes in clothes in general?
Yes, the underwear should be, we would prefer the underwear to be new, the undergarments to be new. Bras, not necessarily, that's a little bit more, we do take used bras, but bottom half, yes, new. And then we do need the full spectrum. I think large is usually safe because it a little loose or a little tight can stretch either way. But we have all individuals of all ages and sizes. So we need all of them actually.
Okay, thanks.
I just realized there were quite a few chat. There were some questions, and Kathy was one of them, and she already addressed it. The other question we had is, where does your bulk funding come from? And also, Benicia has a program that does address, showers and all these kinds of things. Are you aware of it at all? Is that something that you're aware of?
I wasn't specifically aware of the one in Benicia, but I'm happy to learn about it. I want to make sure that they're coordinated with their continuum of care so that individuals and service providers that work out there know about it. I do know that there's one in Fairfield as well. And there was another one in Vacaville that was kind of circulating, but I know their funding did end. And so I'd love to learn about the one in Benicia so that I can make sure I bring that to the regional table, make sure that they're coordinated. And then as far as our funding mechanisms, we do have, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and answer that question. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. As far as our funding mechanisms, we do have a variety of different revenue sources. Our thrift store what used to be one of our primary revenue sources. With the changing of times, that's deplete. It's not the highest revenue funding source for us at this time. We do also have our fundraiser, our big Festival of Trees Gala towards the end of the year. That is our pretty much our major fundraiser. There's three components of it, and I'll let you all know as we get closer. We have our Cookies for a Cause event, which is our family-friendly event at the museum where we have Santa and we have School of Rock come and perform, and you can check out museum trees. The museum trees are then we auction off. And then we also have our Cocktails for Cause, which is a fun event where we have a DJ and different restaurants come in and sample the cocktails, and you pick the winner, and then that cocktail is um, served at our gala. And so then the gala is the big fundraiser as well at the end of the year. This year we are actually having two more fundraisers. One of our board members and big donors, Underground Construction, put on a golf tournament fundraiser for us last year. They're going to be putting that on again for us this year in June. So we are going to be looking for sponsors for that tournament. And then also just starting actually next week, we partner with California State Prison here in Solano, and one of their programs is the OMCP Occupational Mentor Certification Program. And they go through a 14-month rigorous program to become substance use counselors. And then part of that program is also like an art therapy wellness program, and they make beautiful art. And all of the art that they create, they actually give to Opportunity House, and we are auctioning it off on an online platform beginning on Sunday through a week through next Saturday. You can find the links on our Instagram, our Facebook, and it should be on our website. If it's not, it's going up tomorrow. The links for that, and it's beautiful artwork that it will be auctioning off. A lot of the families are really excited because they get to buy their loved one that's incarcerated's artwork, and it's a really cool partnership that we have with the prison, that they get to have their artwork kind of go towards something that's meaningful, and they chose us as the organization they wanted to give it to. So those are two new fundraisers that we are doing this year in addition to our gala. And then of course we have grant writing. We have grants that are everything from the federal level all the way down to the local level, private and public grants. So we try to anywhere and anywhere we will take money.
Yeah. It sounds like most of your money comes from fundraising then, and not necessarily any federal or state programs.
It's actually probably over a third of it comes from grant writing, from grants. More than a third of it, about half of it right now is coming from grants. Yeah.
Okay. And the program then, Benicia, is by Innovative Health Solutions, and they're working on a day program, something similar to what you have. So that's the organization that's doing that. And I apologize for not mentioning that earlier. And maybe one final question, because Francis had wanted to know about successes, and it sounds like your collaboration with the prison is a success. But somebody wanted to know, and this may be the last question, is there any legislation right now that's pending that could be affecting you at all, or one that you're concerned about?
Yeah, there is legislation that's pending right now. So I'm forgetting the exact bill that it is, but it is HAP funding. I'm not remembering which one it is, but to be honest, all affordable housing bills do eventually affect the homeless services, because if there is no place for people to then move into, or funding that can be subsidized to make housing affordable when they build it, we have no places to place people. So that is one thing that is important, but the HAP funding is specific to the homeless response system, which is the shelter work that we do. So there are kind of two prongs to solving homelessness. One is the homeless response system. How do we serve the individuals that are unhoused, and how do we, I don't want to say funnel, but kind of funnel people into us to get them coordinated? And also, we know what people need is there housing that's affordable for them to have. And that affordable housing also stops the inflow of homelessness. So HAP is the main one currently right now. As well as I guess on federal level, the current administration is trying to target the COC NOFO, no opportunity, which is our county typically about $2.6 million, and we use it for permanent supportive housing. We're pretty much guaranteed that every year. the current administration is really trying to attack California and make it so that you're not guaranteed that 2 point, you're usually guaranteed 90% of your allocation. They're trying to make it so that you're only guaranteed 30% of your allocation, and then the rest goes to a national competition, which would really target California. There's been a lot of there's litigation right now at the national or the federal level to say that that's not legal. Congress did state that they can't make it go below 60%, but they did nothing to restrict the administration from targeting the permanent supportive housing. Permanent supportive housing is the funding that keeps people that like housed at the most subsidized, like the ELI, the extremely low income level. That is the permanent supportive housing. So there is a lot going on statewide and federally that is important that will affect us.
We do have
as a
one
whole.
final woman. Dr. McCullough has had her hand up patiently for quite a while, so I'll let her finish this portion of our
Okay.
meeting.
You're on mute. Nope. There we go.
Okay. Well, I got kicked out, so please go ahead.
Oh, you don't have a question?
No, I'm off. I'm off the site now. I'm off site.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Ashley, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the next agenda item, and
Awesome.
Jeannie White will be taking over.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jeannie, you are muted. Okay.
I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, who is our NSDC member and Vacaville Unified School District trustee for Area 1, Nancy Dunn. She is running for re-election and is seeking our endorsement. Welcome, Nancy.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me. This has been one of those nights. I'm just going to start off by telling you, right before I came on the meeting, literally my dog ate my homework, meaning my dog jumped on my computer and it all went blank. And so I'm on my phone, so I apologize, but I'm so happy to be here. And I will be, after this meeting is over, I'll be trying to figure out where my settings all went. But anyway, it's really great to be among a group of friendly faces. I know a lot of you know me, but I wanted to just thank the club for the opportunity to introduce myself a little bit. For those of you who don't know me, I am a second career teacher. I taught in Fairfield Sassoon Unified for 25 years. The last 6 of those, I was the Fairfield Sassoon Teachers Union president. And as I was winding down that career, I decided that it was time for me to get more involved in my hometown. I had lived in Vacaville for almost 30 years by that point, and really felt that that's what I wanted my retirement to be. I wanted to bring everything I had learned in the school system, my love for students, my passion for public education. And it happened to be that the trustee in my area, trustee area 1, Shelley Daly, was not going to seek re-election. So I saw the opportunity and I grabbed it and I ran in 2022. And thankfully, with the support of this club and a lot of other friends and endorsements, I was able to win the seat over my opponent. And now this November, I will be looking to continue that service to my community for another 4 years. For me, it comes down to 2 things. Students matter the most, and public education is the path forward for everyone. So I want to continue to do those things on the Vacaville School Board. Some of the things that I am most proud of in my 4 years is being elected to be the president of the board by my peers for 2 years in a row. So last year and this year, I was elected president of the Vacaville School Board. And to me, that just speaks to the fact that I am a good collaborator. I build coalitions. We model what we want to see in our students, which is the ability to have a disagreement, but also come together and work together, keeping kids at the very center of everything. Recently, I am super proud of my work designing and spearheading the search for our new superintendent. So recently we learned that Ed Santapadre had chosen to retire, and we were able to have a very robust process that included community input, and I'm very excited about continuing the work with Sasha Bigel, who is our current Associate Superintendent of Ed Services, and as of July 1, pending a couple of formalities that still need to happen, she will be our new superintendent. I do have a website if you would like to learn more about me and what I stand for. I call it a wobbly toddler right now, because as demonstrated by my first story on my computer crashing because a dog stepped on it, it has a couple of glitches on it, but I welcome you to come check out my website to learn more about me. It's Nancy Dunn 4, the number 4, schoolboard.com. So Nancy Dunn, the number 4, schoolboard.com. And if you would like to email me, my email address, very similar, nancydunn4schoolboard@gmail.com. So with that, I am using a strategy where I would like to build up a good head of steam so that anyone who might think about challenging me from my seat knows that they're going to have a real fight on their hands, because I am determined to hold this seat, because I know that with the support of my friends in the Northern Solano Democratic Club, labor support, a lot of other people who know me and know my work and know my passion, I know we will be successful. But I also know November is going to be a very crowded field. Have lots of people that we need to line opposed. My name will be off the ballot, and then I can donate my time and services and tennis shoe treads to walking for other people. So I'm really trying to get a big head of steam going forward, and you'll see endorsements that I have already received on my webpage when you go and visit that. And as Jeannie was saying, I am coming back in April to seek the endorsement from the Northern Democratic Club. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and I appreciate the opportunity for you getting me to know.
I
Better.
do not see any questions here for you, but
Yay! No, I'm
always
just
good
joking.
news.
Although, I can't
You know,
see anything through my phone, so if something does come up, you'll have to let me know.
I was going to let you know, Nancy, you need to talk to the Vacaville Unified School District. They have you listed underneath District 1, and they have you serving for 2 years versus the full 4 years. So I got very confused. So you might want to talk to them. But congratulations on all the committees that you're on. And one that I think is really important is a 3x3 that where you have the meetings with
that was brought to my attention. It needs a little bit of work on it. But I am in Area 1, which is sort of southeast Vacaville, sort of the Meadowlands area. Bottom part of Leisuretowne Road, Alamo Drive, sort of that part of Vacaville is my trustee area. Callison Elementary is in my trustee area. But we will get that straightened out.
Well, one final question. What do you see as the biggest challenge in your district right now, if there is any one big challenge?
The biggest challenge in our district right now is the funding for public education in general. I am very proud of the work that we as a board have done. We have been able to make the reductions that we have needed to in the last 2 budget cycles without laying off anyone, classified, certificated, administrative, for the last 2 cycles. Because that means we are able to keep all of our students and away from and the services that support students directly. Moving forward, there is an uncertainty. We know that federal funding really was at risk this last budget cycle, although thankfully everything was fully funded. We are going to be having a change in governor, and most of our funding does come from the state. So the challenge is always, how do we ensure that we have the dollars that we need to keep the educational experience the best we can for all of the students in our district?
Rita, do you see any other questions for Nancy?
No, I don't, but please
Awesome.
feel to reach out to her at her website and her contact if you have any questions.
And again, thank you so much for your time this evening, and I'll be enjoying the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Nancy, for being here, and we look forward
Thank
to
you.
having you come back next month where we will be doing our endorsement voting. So thank you for telling so much about yourself, and we look forward to seeing you next month and for being here for the rest of the meeting as well. Okay, thank you, everyone. We're going to move on into the business portion of our meeting. We're going to start out by the approval of last month's minutes. And that attachment for those minutes went out to all of you last week. So Julia's just going to put them up very briefly. And then we're going to ask for any questions or comments before Julia administers the Zoom poll to approve these minutes. And thank you to Nancy Federley for doing such a nice job with the minutes.
Marion, your hand is up.
Yes, Michael's first name, Michael is spelled Michael, not EA.
Thank you, Marion. Any other comments or questions? Okay, Julia.
Do a couple more seconds. So now we're hold your peace. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone, for responding so quickly to the Zoom poll. We're going to move on to items from the floor. I think that Don Lowry has something that he wants to put forward.
Yes, I do. I was expecting this to be later on, so I didn't have it in front of me.
Did you want to put it on the agenda, and we will talk to you
Yeah.
later on in the meeting?
That'll be fine. That's to discuss AB 1984.
Thank you for that. Do we have anyone else that has any submission for items from the floor?
Jeannie?
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't see the agenda. It's Michelle. So I'd like to talk about SB 131.
You are actually in the announcement portion already, Michelle. I already put your name on.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Seeing no other items from the floor, Julia knows where we're going with this. We're now going to move on to approving the agenda for tonight's meeting. And I think that, yes, okay, there you go. It's already on there. Thank you. And it was already administered to you last week, so I hope you have had a chance to look at it. Any questions or comments on the agenda before Julia administers the Zoom poll? Seeing no questions, go ahead, Julia.
Okay. Like we mostly hit everybody, so I'm gonna give everybody one more second and hold. Now. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful. Thanks. We're going to move on and hear from the treasurer, Don Lowry, who is going to have his report displayed briefly. You should have all received it prior to the meeting.
All right, we had a beginning balance of $21,313.26. We brought in a total of $4,645, of which $1,000 was dues and contributions, 160 was for crab feed tickets, and 85 in dem prom tickets and sponsorships. Our expenses totaled $1,328.89. That included various event supplies. I think those were mostly plates for our upcoming dinner. The remainder of the hall rental, $1,007.22, and some sign materials for Jeannie White, and of course our Act Blue expenditures, leaving us with an ending balance of $24,629.37. As of the preparation of this report, there are 112 paid members already for 2026, including 33 sustaining members. And if you have not already paid your dues for 2026, I dropped the link into chat, so please pay up. If you do not renew your dues by the end of March, your membership will lapse. So pay up or you will no longer be a voting member. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. And I'm truly gratified by the fact that we already have 112 members who have paid their dues for this year. That's absolutely fabulous. And so I'm really glad that everybody has thrown in their lot with us for another year. And we're going to move right into all of the committee and working group reports. I'm going to start with the fundraising committee. The fundraising committee met on Monday, February 23rd, to discuss the upcoming Dining and Dancing for Democracy fundraiser that's going to be on March 21st, from 6 till 9 at the Nelson Center in Sassoon. Dawn shared our current ticket sales, and I believe we are at 92 tickets right now. And we are really looking forward to letting people come all the way up until they walk in the door. And if they just want to come in and say they want to be part of our dance party on the night of, we want them to be there with us. And Julia also discussed the expenses that are coming up for that event. And I'm going to actually introduce two people that are part of our planning to tell us a little bit about what's going on with them. I'm going to start with Margie Olson, who is the chair of our silent auction. Welcome, Margie.
Hi. So, and I actually, let me see if I can put this up. Get my, so I'm in charge of the silent auction that we're having on the night of the event. And Jeannie was saying, everybody, you can come at the last minute or show up and it's going to be great. And I have something just in case you can't come and you want to buy something that's on our auction. I'm putting up a few things, so take a look in the chat and let me know if you would like to purchase or any of these items in advance. So there's your chance. And In addition, we have a number of really nice items that will be at the event. So be sure and come by and make your bids on the silent auction items when we're dancing and eating and having a nice time with each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Margie, do you have any asks from any of us? Do you need anything else from club members for help or anything for the event?
If someone would like to help me just kind of monitor the station, I would like that. So if there's someone who doesn't have a job already that is coming or only has half a job, maybe you could share your time with the auction table.
Thank you, Margie.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Barbara Pishing, who is in charge of our amazing dessert sale.
Hello, everyone. Our dessert table is a little anemic at this point in time because we don't have much commitment for baked goods coming in from members. In advance, of course, would be advance notice, but walk-ins goodies is always welcome. So if you're not sure at this point in time if you want to bring a baked good or what it is that you want to bring, you can certainly bring it with you when you come for the event. And we'll handle it, we'll price it, and we'll put it up for sale. If you need to contact me for suggestions of the kind of goodies for you to bring, you can do that. I'll put my phone number and information on the chat. And also, if you already have determined what you're going to bring, like lemon cake squares, you can let me know that, and I will put that on my list of things. So there is a donor form required for all of the items that will be coming in. If you need one in advance, let me know and I can email it to you, or we can fill out the donor form when you bring your goodies in on the night of the event. But we only have about 4 baked items now, and we need 15. So I'm hoping that somebody can think of something that they want to bring. You don't have to bake. You can buy it at the store and bring it in. So easy peasy. Let me know if you need some help. I'll put my number in the chat. Thank you.
Barbara, are you in need of assistance during the event itself, or have you already gotten enough assistance?
I have a few assistants, yes, and they are available when I need them, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you, volunteers, for doing that.
Wonderful. So let's see if we can help Barbara rustle up a couple of desserts so that people can finish off their dinner with a baked goods. Because you don't have to wait till the end to buy. This is like go grab something that strikes your fancy and bring it over to your table so that you can have a little sweet chaser after your dinner.
Yes, we will be selling. We're going to start the sale at 7 o'clock after everybody kind of comes in and mingles a little bit and starts to eat, and then we'll be selling it until it's gone. So you don't have to wait to have it auctioned or anything. You can just buy it on the spot.
Oh.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on and ask our outreach chair, Julia Routson-Thomas, to speak briefly about her leadership in the forum.
Okay, I just want to mention to Barbara, in case she didn't see, Cherise offered a cake or cupcakes, so go track her down.
We know where to find you, Cherise.
Okay, so we had a lovely interview with the Director of Programming at STA, the Salona Transportation Authority. With a wide variety of questions and conversations. He did a lovely presentation regarding the questions that I had ahead of time. It was really, really interesting. I'm actually going to throw the link in the chat for our YouTube because the whole entire interview is there, along with a bunch of other stuff. So If you want to take a listen, we'd love to hear it. If you have any ideas for somebody that you would find to be a really interesting long form, so hour-long conversation, even if it's like a topic or an agency or something like that that you'd like to hear more about, please let me know. I'm definitely interested in wide-ranging topics. It's all the stuff that affects us as Solano County residents.
Thank you, Julia. Appreciate that. And I actually saw the information in the newsletter too. So that looked like it was a really interesting presentation. So I'm going to move on to our next group, which is our values group that is being led by our treasurer and chair of the Central Committee, Don Lowry.
Yes, I think the bulk of my report for our first meeting was in our monthly newsletter. We met, we discussed each individual member discussed their desired outcome for the group, and what we wanted to do. And as the meeting progressed, we did focus on providing a list of resources, reading materials, and video links and other reference information to help inform people on the discussion of issues reflecting our values, with focus on racism and systemic bias, and that as our first focus of the conversation. And we will be I haven't sent out the Google poll to confirm the day and time of our next meeting, but I will be doing that shortly. We had a conflict with our first chosen meeting night, so we will be adjusting that. But as soon as we know, we will let you all know when that is, and all club members are invited to attend and participate as they're able to do so.
Thank you, Don. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Overpass Messaging Crew. This group is going to be back in action after the fundraiser. So we're going to be meeting in April. I'm going to put out an announcement and ask if you will come over to my house for a meeting. We're going to talk about how we want to move forward with this. We may be talking about moving to a different location, or if we'd like the one that we've been working at the best, we will stay put. We're going to be talking about our messages that we want to put up and how we actually can put the boards together. I think we are going to retire our PVC pipe, and I think we're going to be putting our letters directly onto the wall, and we're just going to plead ignorance if anybody comes by and says anything to us. Those little baby bungee cords that Nancy Federley came up with were really helpful, and we're just going to go ahead and get those powerful messages up there on the overpass and try to make our presence known for all those thousands of people that are passing by on the freeway. But you'll be looking for an announcement from me at the beginning of April, and we'll find a time and date where we can all get together and talk about how we want to move forward. Now I'm going to turn this over to Steve Federley, who's going to briefly talk about the Legislative Study Group.
I did mute you, Steve. Sorry.
Okay. We're a small group. Hopefully we'll get a little bit larger as time goes on. We're a small group that are monitoring the California legislature, senators, and representatives' bills currently working its way through process of becoming law. Our role is involves not only monitoring legislation, but also bringing the information to the club for possible action to advocate or oppose bills of interest to us. We've just begun and welcome any member who would like to work with us. Meetings are going to be on Zoom on the third Sunday of each month at 2 p.m. And I'll put the link to the meeting in the chat.
Thank you, Steve. I'm going to talk briefly about the coffee meet and greets. We were able to have successful meet and greets in Sassoon, Vacaville, and in Dixon, but we are still searching for that elusive coffee shop in Fairfield. Now that the weather is improving, we may have more options, and we can find places that actually have maybe patio spaces so that we can broaden our search. If anybody has any suggestions or ideas for a location in Fairfield, I would be super grateful to hear from you. And we're going to continue to make the rounds of the other cities too, but we really want to make sure that we represent Fairfield in our coffee meetups. So let it be known if you know of a good place for us to have some coffee and get together in fellowship with our fellow progressives out in Fairfield and in Solano County. Now, the last working group is one that we actually haven't been able to have a meeting for yet, and that is the campaign group, which is super important. During last week's e-board meeting with our alternates, when we get together and plan for this particular meeting, we also discussed how we wanted to move forward with the campaign group. And we came up with some really interesting ideas on how to tackle this very, very big project. And some of the topics that we covered were the possibility of actually breaking up the groups into the individual cities. In other words, have a group that was going to focus directly on Vacaville races, Fairfield races, Dixon races, and Sassoon races, so that it wasn't like a huge project that we were trying to tackle all together, but that we could actually break it up into more manageable pieces. Now, with that being said, that would also be helpful for identifying and recruiting candidates in those individual areas. And the groups that were responsible for that particular city would be able to just really hone in on finding those folks in that city and then telling the rest of the group about it. Now, we also talked about once we've done that, there would be a representative from each one of those groups that would communicate with an overall coordinator who would put all the information, like say on a weekly basis for all the candidates. So we would know where a candidate was having an event, or if a candidate needed to have Canvas help or needed anything in particular. So it would be almost like a clearinghouse of information that would be gathered from each of those groups. So it would not be overwhelming for, say, one person to have to try to come up with it all by themselves. They would be getting the information from the representatives from each of those cities. We also explored the possibility of maybe getting some training on how to be really effective canvassers and how to host house parties. We also want to talk about establishing a master list for volunteers so that we would be able to call upon them should the need arise in each of those different cities. Several members of the executive board and alternates have expressed interest in being part of that group, and we are looking for a lot more people to join us. This is going to be a big organization, and we need to have a lot of people to help us to be able to work effectively in all 4 of the cities that we really want to represent. We have not come up with a date and time, but we will be putting out alternatives and asking people to tell us which would be the most effective date and time for us to be meeting. Cass, I see your hand is raised. There you
Yes, can you hear me? Okay.
Clearly.
I just, not about what you're speaking to right now, it just popped into my mind before I forget. There's always Mimi's Cafe, and they have a side room that would potentially work. My my college group used to meet there for once a year, and it's large enough to have a fairly big group.
Thank you. And that's pretty centrally located too, right off the highway.
Yeah.
So that would be excellent. Thank you for telling me that, Cass.
It just popped in my mind.
Maybe we'll have to do a little scouting trip and go and check it out. Now that we are finished with all of our working groups and committees, we are going to move on to club business, and I'm going to have Richard White talk to us a little bit about the club's dental health packets project.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I just wanted to remind everybody that we are going to start this initiative officially in April, for the month of April. And I have good news to report that, as you may recall from our last meeting, we were looking for drop-off locations for the dental kits in both Fairfield and Sassoon. We have one already in Vacaville, located on my front doorstep. And we now have one in Sassoon, thanks to our good friends Rick and Barbara. So we appreciate that. Where they have a bin on their front doorstep. So if you're in the Fairfield Sassoon area and you want to put together a $20 dental kit in a nice clear Ziploc bag, you can drop those bags off during the month of April to Rick's, and he's located on Ebbets Court in Sassoon, so I can put his address in the chat when appropriate. And I just wanted to thank the club for really taking this on. I know there's been a few folks that have already gone out and managed to wrangle up a few kits, so I thank you for that. But I'll come back next month when the collection is officially underway and give another reminder. And hopefully, if you live in Fairfield and you have a spare porch you can lend me for a month, I'd certainly like to take advantage of about 4 or 5 square feet of that and put a bin out there. We supply the bin, we pick everything up. So no muss, no fuss, glad to help. So anyway, that's all I've got. Thank you, sweetheart, for allowing me a couple minutes.
Well, thank you for giving us a review of the project. And I know that we're going to have lots of people that are going to be participating. And it was so nice to have Ashley here earlier to talk about Opportunity House, all the things they do. And it's wonderful that we can do this project and be helpful to them too. So thank you so much for doing that. Now we're going to move on to items from the floor, and I'm going to call on Don Lowry.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to bring to the club's attention bill that's been introduced in the Assembly. It's AB 1984 by Assemblymember Rogers, who represents Sonoma County in the North Coast. It's following on similar legislation that was brought forward last year in Montana. And basically, it is tackling the flood of corporate spending on elections, not by rewriting the elections code, but by rewriting the corporations code. Because corporations are creatures of the state, and their powers and authority is regulated by state law. So what AB 1984 would do, similar to the law proposed in Montana and actually several other states this year, is remove from corporations the ability to spend money on elections. And so that no corporation chartered in California could do that. Chris introduced the bill last month. Yeah, as I said, Montana's working on this last month. As far as I know, he does not have a formal sponsor for the bill, but he's been talked to by a number of groups about it, and the bill is moving forward. And I will be passing on information about the bill to our legislative study group as soon as I get it from the author. And I would like to get, hopefully next month or the month after, the club will consider endorsing this bill and sending a letter to that effect to Assemblymember Rogers' office. So I just want to let everyone know about this. This is one of the efforts to combat corporate money, and I'll be sharing the press release with Jeannie, and as soon as I get the fact sheet from the Assemblymember's office, I'll be sharing that information too. But again, that is AB 1984 by Assemblymember Chris Rogers.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention and look forward to getting that information, and I will gladly share it. And I hope that the study group will be willing to take a look at it and maybe can give us some more information about that as well. I am now going to start the announcement portion of our meeting, and I will ask that if you are making an announcement that each of you observe our 2-minute time allotments. We would appreciate it if you could have it be less than 2, but we certainly want to give you that 2 minutes if you are feeling you have lots of information that you want to share. I'm going to start out by having Richard White come back and to talk a little bit about Mike Silva and his campaign.
Well, thank you again. Good evening. Mike, we just completed his candidate statement, which was sent in on Friday afternoon. He went in and paid his fees and all that good stuff. Thank you to all the folks that showed up over the weekend to get some PDI training. We have flyers that are being delivered this week, and I will be in touch with those folks to start assigning precincts. There are about 150 precincts between Vacaville and Dixon in District 4. We're going through the process of prioritizing which district makes the most sense and how to best allocate our resources, which comes into asking for volunteers. So if you're good at walking and you like to get exercise, canvassing is your wheelhouse. If you're have good penmanship, maybe letter writing might be a good thing for you. If you know how to, and it doesn't matter how well you write, if you have a checkbook, we'll take anything you want to contribute to the campaign. This is not a millionaire's campaign, and he makes a point of saying that in his opening statement. It's a working class, working people's campaign, recognizing that these elections, these 2 votes for Wanda and for Mike, that could shift the balance of power at the supervisory level for quite some time. And so this is a very important election in the county. So we need to give Mike full support. So if you want to volunteer, give me a call. Give me a shout, email me, text me, but do something to get a hold of me, and we'll find a spot for you. Think about what you're good at, and we'll find a spot for you in the campaign. And hopefully we'll hear from a few of you folks. But I just want to thank everybody who's already stepped up. I was out collecting checks today for Mike, turning them over to Rita as our treasurer. So we have to adhere by some very strict campaign rules. And we're going to do that. And we want to make sure that Mike is out talking to people and we can take all of the admin stuff off his shoulders. So anyway, thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you want to get involved, give me a shout, and I'll make sure to get back in touch with you very, very quickly. Thanks.
Thank you, Richard. I am now going to call on Michelle Pellegrin, who is going to be giving us a brief overview about possible revisions for SB 131 that's going to be coming up for a vote shortly. So thank you, Michelle, for being here to talk about this.
Yes, I think it's rare that there's any legislation that's going to have such a huge impact on the state as this bill. It cannot be sort of understated and what's really amazing is that Solano County is going to determine what the state is going to do in large part. So what is SB 131? It was signed into law last year, and it basically made sweeping changes to the California Environmental Quality Act. I don't know if people are familiar with that, but if there's a project out there, it has to go through a CEQA revision where people who are going to be affected by it can have input. So basically what SB 131 did was it gutted CEQA. And they did it for some good reasons. They wanted more housing. But what they put in there was one of the categories that doesn't need any review by the citizens or by any local agencies is advanced manufacturing. That means that any business that met the definition of advanced manufacturing, is very vague, could just start operating anything, get a permit, and that's it. So for Vallejo, it would have meant that we had a cement plant. For Benicia, it would be trains with volatile oil. For Solano County right now, it's California forever. So this is such an impactful act. And what happened was when it was signed into law, 34 senators said, oh no, we're going to fix this law next year because this is out of control. So now it's come up to be fixed. And our senator, Christopher Cabaldon, is the one who has the most important vote on this. So and he's on the fence about it, which no one can quite understand. And in terms of, the effect this will have on environmental justice is just unbelievable because corporations aren't going to buy land in Piedmont, or places like that. They're going to go to Solano County and low-income areas where land is cheaper. So and they're going to vote on this in the next few days. So a lot of organizations throughout the county are asking people to call Christopher Cabaldon and say, we support strong cleanup language in SB 131. We do not want advanced manufacturing to be taken out of CEQA. We want it to be reviewed if it's going to be in our communities. And so this is actually, it's imminent. It's something that they want the calls and the comments to go in by tomorrow because they're going to vote on this right away. I don't know why it's coming up so late, but that's it. So I will put in chat Christopher Cabaldon's email and his office number, and you can do one or the other. And I can also put in a sample letter that you can use in the chat if that will help.
Michelle, is that sample letter different than the one that I shared with the membership the other day? I sent out. Is that the same one?
Same one.
Okay. So there were also two forms that I sent out that Michelle and others were kind enough to share that give much more detail on what advanced manufacturing actually means and gives a great deal of information that would be helpful for you. And Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time to explain what this is. And it does sound like it's pretty important. So I appreciate your doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I like the name of the bill that Don was talking about, 1984.
Well, I'm hoping to hear more about that too after the study group looks into it and brings that back to the table. So thanks again, Michelle. Now I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to a candidate for the Board of Education Area 6, Allison Costa. She is a new candidate and she is going to briefly introduce herself. And I'm sure that we will be hearing more from her in upcoming meetings, but I wanted her to have the opportunity to get in front of us to, again, introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her campaign, maybe give us a contact link for her website or any other way that we can contact her. So right now, I would like to turn it over to Allison Costa. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I was late. I am still teaching and we have parent-teacher conferences this week. And that's where my head was. So my name is Allison Costa. I have lived in Solano County for the last 40 years. Of those 40 years, I have been a classroom teacher, a coordinator, and a site administrator. I'm currently teaching online students who didn't go back to school after COVID in Woodland. So I have all of the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students in Woodland who are not currently in a classroom. And so you can imagine that my brain is not always with me. I have loved every position that I've ever had in education, from student teaching in Dixon to being a site administrator here in town. I got to open Cooper School. My daughter went through all of the neighborhood schools. She went to Cooper, Vacapania, and Wood. And she is now a 31-year-old successful wine bartender with a degree in sociology. Oh, but anyway, she's happy. I don't have a website yet. I'm working with Rick. We're getting things up and running right now, so I don't have any information to share directly with you about how to contact me. But I just would love for you to know that I feel like my experience in education and all of the different facets here, over in Northern Marin and Woodland, really gives me a unique perspective on in what education means to the kids and what it means to the teachers and what it means to the community. So this came about as a little bit of a sort of a surprise. I didn't realize this was something that was happening. I was contacted by someone and asked about if my interest about it. And after a couple of weeks of thought and talking to my family and getting a quite the positive response from, we've always told you you should have done that. I'm excited and enthusiastic. I will be retiring from teaching in June. And again, after 37 years. So I do feel like it's exciting because I have some time and energy to put into this. And I just would love the opportunity to serve our community as an educator, supporting everyone.
Allison, thank you so much for stepping forward, for agreeing to serve. And it sounds like you certainly bring a wealth of experience, and certainly would be a wonderful asset on the Board of Education for Area 6. I would welcome you to come back when we are in the thick of the election cycle so that we can learn more about you and go to your website and find ways that we can be involved in what you're doing. So again, thank you so much for being here this evening and telling us a little bit about yourself. And we'd like you to come back and keep working. And I'm sure that Rick is going to guide you well. So thanks again,
Yes,
Allison.
thank you very much for having me and giving me an opportunity to just share a little bit. I'm sure as it goes forward, I will be more informative about myself and positions and things like that. But once we get things set up, I'll always be available for questions or ideas, thoughts about what would make Solano County a great place to learn.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. Now I'm going to call on Rita Deanda, who wants to tell us about an upcoming event on March 16th. Rita, there you go.
I know. Trying to juggle all these different screens. This is an event that I think most of you are already aware of, but it has to do with the League of Women Voters are having an event on March the 16th, and it is online. It is from 6 to 7, and I think Julia already had the information on there on how you can reserve a spot, but it's to discuss the SAVE Act and other things that really would affect our ability to vote. I was talking to a man who said, it's a friend I've known for a long time. He says, well, what's the big deal? I can get my birth certificate. Well, what if your birth certificate doesn't match your married name? What if you're older? What if you don't even know where your birth certificate is? So it's a real big issue, and I know they're working on it right now at the, I think maybe at the Senate level, but and they're trying to force, voter ID on people. We need to really be able to know what's happening at the state level to protect ourselves from the actions of this federal government who's out of control. But this is a good place. The League of Women Voters, and I know a lot of you people here are members of the League of Women Voters, and you can reach out to those members to get more information about it. I also just wanted to let you know next month, John Gardner, who's the Assistant Registrar of Voters, is going to be our presenter. He's going to talk. And so bring all your questions about the voting process here in Solano County in California and to ask him questions. And I want to kind of follow up with what Julie was saying. If you have a topic or a speaker you'd like to hear from, let me know. I have about 3 or 4 in mind that I've been thinking of, but I really, appreciate everybody else's thoughts on it. And when I approach a speaker, I ask them, do you want to do a long-term, like an hour presentation, because the topic is so dense and complex? And then I turn it over to Julia. And if they just feel like they can just do a 20-minute presentation, then we can have them come to our general meeting. So just reach out to me and let me know. I want to make things that are effective for the whole membership and not necessarily something that I'm just interested in. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Now we're going to hear from Audra Orr, who is a representative from the Solano Pride Center.
Hi, everybody. I want to start getting the hype up for Sassoon Pride that's coming up in, well, not June. We're actually going to kick off Pride Month by having Sassoon Pride on March 31st. March, not March. Oh, what's wrong with me tonight? May 31st. Down in Sassoon Harbor. It promises to be bigger and better this year. We have it has its own website this year. We have a mascot. We're making changes to make it just even more phenomenal. On the website, there are the opportunities to be a vendor, sponsor, all those great things are on there. I'll put that on the chat so that we can start looking at that if we want to table there. And also on the 25th of this month, I'm going to be attending the Equity California Advocacy Day at the Capitol, where we'll be doing some training, talking with legislators, advocating for and against bills that are going to be coming up in the California legislature that have to do with that will affect the LGBTQ community. We'll be doing that, running from office to office and having like 10 minutes with each one. I did it last year and it was actually amazing, a great learning opportunity. And then having a reception with them and getting to know some of our legislators. So that'll be a great experience, and hopefully I can report out on some of what I learned on what bills we're going to be advocating for.
Thank you, Audra, and thank you for giving us the date for Sassoon Pride.
I got the right one, right?
Yes, I was thinking, oh my God, that's right around the corner, March 31st. No. Anyway, I'm sure that you will be seeing the Northern Solano Democratic Club there. I am hoping that we have a table like we did in the past. It was great fun, and I look forward to seeing what the Solano Pride Center puts together to make it even bigger and better, because it was pretty spectacular last time. So I look forward to hearing about that. I'm going to turn this over to Mary Vasquez, who is a representative, the leader of the Vacaville People's Forum. Welcome, Mary.
Jeannie, you're so funny. Thank you. I'm happy to jump on Audra's coattails here. Mary Vasquez, I'm also a member of NSDC, but also chair of Vacaville People's Forum, like Jeannie mentioned. Just wanted to say happy Women's History Month to everyone. And invite you all to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Vacaville People's Forum hosts a month-long campaign of inspiring women of Vacaville, where we share women's her stories of their contributions and commitment to service in Vacaville. So please check out our page during this month. It's really fun and very interesting to learn about what some really cool women in Vacaville are doing. So I will drop those links in the chat just as soon as I'm done speaking. But this is also a heavy event season for Vacaville People's Forum. We'll be hosting also on Sunday, Sunday, April 26th, not July, April 26th, an event, BU, which is an inclusion and resource fair for our community with diverse needs. That'll be at Lower Creek Walk in Andrews Park. And so we're excited. This is our 6th year of events. So we hosted the MLK event back in January, which kicks off our event season. So Sunday, April 26th for BU. And then, like I said, following in Audra's coattails here, we will be hosting the 6th annual Pride in the Park on Saturday, June 13th at Andrews Park. And it is a great complimentary event to Sassoon Pride, but we're really excited to be hosting that again, and hopefully our mayor doesn't give us a bunch of shit again this year for proclamation. So Audra, I need to connect with you. Audra will also be helping support Vacaville Pride in the Park as a subcommittee member. But we need to stay ready to counteract if we do have any elected officials who are not willing to support a Pride proclamation or the rising of the Pride flag come June. So we need to stay ready, especially since he's looking to run to. Yes, thank you. Yes, Audra, we do. Especially since he's looking to a county seat and representing the entire county. So thanks, everyone. I hope to see you in Vacaville. Hope to see you at Vacaville People's Forum events and just appreciate. I know many of you here already support us and support what we're doing in Vacaville, but just want to say thank you and can't wait to see you at future events.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate all you do, all the Vacaville People's Forum does for all the great events. That Martin Luther King event was just fabulous in January. You guys did a great job. Can't wait for BU. Now I'm going to turn it over to Carol Woods, who is a leader for Indivisible Vacaville.
Would like to announce that Indivisible Vacaville is endorsing Dr. Michael Silva for Solano County Supervisor D4 and also U.S. Representative John Garamendi, District 8 for Congress. And we're real excited about that. And we're going to pitch in and try to get his name out there and give him all the support we can. And then on Saturday, March 21st at 10 a.m., we're having a protest, Save Our Democracy. And when we have our protests, it includes everything. You know, you can't put a name on one thing. We're going to have protests for this because something changes every day. And the SAVE Act is, you know, I mean, that's a big thing for me. Yeah. And also that, you know, no more forever wars. You know, ICE, you know, there's so many things out there and we have to get our voices out there. And your presence matters and your voice matters. So please join us on March 21st. And then on March 28th, we're going to have No Kings Day. And we're expecting a very large crowd. And then we're going to continue on into April and on until we need to. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And Carol does a wonderful job of leading the Indivisible Vacaville group. It's gotten bigger and bigger every single month. She does a wonderful job of leading us and is a very effective advocate. So please come out and support the events. There are Indivisible events elsewhere, but the one in Vacaville is one that has been well established, and we would love to have you come out. Don, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, two quick things. One, I put into the chat for those of you who wish to attend the memorial service for former Fairfield Councilmember Jack Basson will be next Friday, the 20th at 2 p.m. at the Rockville Presbyterian Fellowship out on Susan Valley Road. My recollection is that we approved, and I'm hoping it was the club, approved a contribution to the charity, designated charity, in his memory. According to the obituary, the recommended choices were Doctors Without Borders and the Solano and Contra Costa Food Bank. Unless the group has any objection, we'll go ahead and issue the memorial contribution to the local food bank to do that. And then the other item I just want to point out, I'm sure you all saw it in the news over the weekend, but Fairfield Mayor Kat Moy has also put her hat in the ring to run against Supervisor Wanda Williams. As a former resident of Fairfield who had to experience her council service for 16 years. She is not what Solano County needs by any stretch. I don't want to impugn her character, so I won't say anything. I'll just leave it at that. Wanda's by far the better choice, but obviously, Cap Moy is in a much better position to raise money and has the name recognition to represent a challenge to Wanda. So please, if you can do it, divide your time among both Wanda and Mike Silva. They both need your support to get through the election and hopefully both win in June. So please help both of our endorsed candidates. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And that's a segue into what I was going to conclude with, because I don't see anybody else's hands raised for, oh, I see Dr. Chapman. I will call on you first. Yes, Dr. Chapman.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Ignore the message I put in the chat. All right. I just wanted to make mention of HR 22. That is the voter suppression. Enough has been said on it. However, I was going to share that my sorority, they have drafted a letter. If anyone is interested in sending a letter to your representative, sharing your opposition to it, because all it is voter suppression. I mean, 100%. And then the other thing is, I have announced that I am going to be running for mayor of Vacaville. While I'm doing that, the other thing is I am in need of identifying someone else that resides in my district. I've been searching, I've been asking. The one person I did inquire, yes, asked. They're not a Democrat, and plus, on top of that, they're not ready. Their children are young. His children are young, and so he says this isn't the right time. So I need your help. We need to find someone right away. Time is moving along so swiftly, and so I just wanted to put that out. And Jeannie, I can forward you the letters that have been drafted, and you, if you don't mind, sending it out to the club. And also, I'm going to be gone until the first week in April, so I'm going to miss a lot of events, an awful lot. But just know that I'm there with you, and I've already donated to 1 or 2 or 3 clubs, and so with that, I'm just want to say you have my support 100%. And
Thank you, Dr. Chapman. Now, would you be willing to put the ask that you have, which is that you're looking for someone to run in your district? If you can put that in the chat, this is going to go out to everyone on the mailing list. So that will be a good reminder for all people. And I do want to say thank you, Dr. Chapman, even though you are going to be gone, you were generous enough to become a sponsor, not a sponsor, but a supporter of the upcoming Dining and Dancing for Democracy fundraiser. So thank you for your support. We will be dancing and thinking of you. So have a wonderful trip. Put your information in the chat and send me those letters, and I'll make sure that they go out.
I will. And also check my Act Blue and see if I did it. I took care of it, but I might have clicked the wrong thing. It might have gone in as a sponsor and not a donor. Because
check with Don.
Okay, Don.
Don knows all things.
Okay.
I will be putting the city council map into the chat so you guys can see where District 4 is. And that
excellent.
Is,
that's
Dr. Chapman's
perfect.
current district.
That is very helpful. Thank you, Julia. And again, thank you for your generous donation, Sarah. And I'm sure that Don can help you solve the mystery of where your donation went. Okay.
Nation, Don. Okay.
Clara, did you had your hand up?
You were on mute.
Well, I think it got answered. I was trying to figure out what Dr. Chapman wanted, but now I realized you need somebody to run for your. I live in your district, but I'm not going to run. But I might be able to, find you somebody.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, Clara, that would be excellent. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope that you will find somebody wonderful. They'll have big shoes because Dr. Chapman has left big shoes to fill. So
I know.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other announcements before I have the last word? Anyone else want to raise their hand? No, Francis, Dr. Francis, yes.
Well, yes, there has been so many announcements. There are so many wonderful things that are going on. I just did not want our club members to forget about dining and dancing for democracy, which is coming up on next Saturday. We really need our members to purchase tickets and have your friends purchase tickets and come out and support our fundraising next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you for the pitch, Dr. Francis. I appreciate that so much. And that is exactly what I was going to be talking about, is that our fundraising efforts are going to be about raising the money that we need for those endorsement postcards. And I have lost my Zoom link.
I just want to say that, to add on to, I'll let Jeannie find her Zoom link while I just say, we're talking about the primary and the general election. The primary is going to be where it's at. That's Mike's race. That's Wanda's race. We
Yes.
really want to get those endorsement postcards out. We want to be able to tell people who the actual Democrat in the race is, who we're actually supporting, so that they can get those people who may not necessarily know, because nobody is an incumbent and those races do not have partisan listings. So if you're just going based off of names, it can get difficult. So getting those endorsement postcards out and having our local stamp on somebody so that we can really do it is important. It's just the primary right now is going to be huge for our county, because if we can actually flip this board, which we've been saying forever, but if we can flip this board, like, truly our county can move forward from being stuck and not getting, funding for our food banks, funding for any of the food assistance, all this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to stop.
Okay.
No, honestly, and I see Jonathan Richardson. Yes, Jonathan, welcome.
Jeannie, I have a question. So regarding fundraising for the postcards, I haven't participated in that in the past, but my question is, if there was a donation of the postcards, does that help significantly for that campaign or across campaigns?
So
these are professionally printed.
yeah,
Okay.
we have put out postcards in the past, and most of you who are our members have seen those postcards. We're very proud of them, and they really turned out beautifully. And Nancy Federley does an amazing job each and every time. And we think that those postcards really do make a difference, because a lot of people, they don't pay as much attention as we do to what's going on in the county, and they need to maybe have a little push, like when they get a postcard from the Northern Solano Democratic Club, going out to fellow Democrats, and the Democratic Club says, we endorse Dr. Michael Silva, or we endorse Dr. Sarah Chapman, or we endorse Wanda Williams. They're going to maybe think about those particular candidates because our recommendation carries some weight. So it's really important. We're going to really be down to the bare bones with if we do both. So we need all your help to do this. And that's what this fundraiser is really for. We want to get together. We want to have a great time, and we're going to have a great time, but we also are raising money for a really, really important cause. So I really encourage you to come. You can still get tickets. And for those of you that haven't turned in your song choices, I have received some amazing lists that I can't wait. I hope he picks all the songs that I've seen so far, because I'll be on the dance floor the entire time. So put your choices in so that we know what you want to dance to. Okay, Mary, I see your hand is raised.
I just to, sorry, add to the county election conversation. Do we know who sent out that survey to District 4 voters about who they're inclined to vote for, whether it's John Carly, Mike Silva, or Juan? Nobody knows Mike's. I know it wasn't Mike's camp, but I'm wondering if we ever found out if it was Carly's camp and who got to collect all that data.
Ah, can we talk a little bit more about this later, Mary? And maybe
Yes.
I'll try to, find some information out. I have not heard this. This is
Yeah,
news to me.
probably California Forever.
Yeah, let's talk
Or it
about
might
it.
be the chamber, depending on what the
Yeah,
questions were.
yeah.
Because the chamber has
Let's,
historically funded polling.
I took a PDF of the survey, so I will
okay,
definitely send it along to you all.
okay. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Yeah,
And
we need.
just to confirm, Renee has tons of Spanish music.
Oh, good. That is so cool. And Renee Ortiz is our amazing DJ for the evening. So we know that we're going to be hearing some fabulous tunes. So come, we want you to come and be with us. It'll be so much fun. Yes, Cass.
Yeah, I wanted to hark back on what Mary was saying. I heard that a bunch of people had gotten that survey, and I was wondering, did any of you guys get it? No?
I don't see any hands. I'm going to take a
Because
look at it when Mary sends it. We'll take a look at it.
because I
And
know of some people who got it, and I think um that person told me that they thought that it was from Carly's, to camp.
well, it's
Usually,
starting
if
up,
they're
isn't it?
doing polling, they send it out to about 10% or
Okay.
less.
Yeah.
So it won't necessarily, it's probably not going to be everybody that gets it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'd love to see it, and I'm thankful for Mary for bringing it up. I want to take a look at it, and we'll try to figure out what to do. Do we have any other announcements? We have had so many great things announced tonight. Candidates, we've had so many great events that we've been talking about. There's a lot going on, and I'm so thankful that you all choose to be here tonight to talk about it and hear about all these great things. I see no other hands raised. We have gone through all of our business. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, just raise your hand on the screen.
Aye.
All right, we've done it. Aye, we have done it. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. You take care, and hope to see you guys on Saturday, March 21st at the Nelson Center. Take care, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Good
Hey,
night.
Good
Jeannie,
night.
I had an interesting question.
Okay.
Are we wanting to do early endorsements for more than just one or two of the incumbent races?
I don't see why not. I mean, I will defer to Dawn. I mean, Dawn and I had a little bit of a conversation earlier about early endorsements, but I think that that's worth a conversation.
Yeah. Like, my question was more so, do we want to ask people or do we just want people to ask and we can decide on a...
Oh, so in what you're saying, if people approach us and ask that we do it, instead of
Or
chasing
do we
down
want to
people.
approach people? It's
Yeah.
kind of one or the other. The other question is like incumbents only, or do we want to do any other races? Just because some of them are going to be pretty important. So
I think we should talk about it.
anyway,
Yeah.
it was a question
No.
that was posed to me, so I am posing it to everybody else.
Okay, well, we will definitely want to discuss, and I think that is interesting. Now, the only person I still have not been able to get a hold of, Denise Dix. Gosh, she is elusive, and I have not been able to. But Dawn, I promise you, I'm going to continue to try.
I will see if I can get some stuff done on my end because I do know people who work in that office, and see if they can bombard her.
That would be nice. or at least put the bug in her ear that we're looking for her.
Yeah.
That we would like to talk with her. I would like to meet her. I've never met her, so I would actually like her to come. Nancy,
Or
I see
in the
sorry.
alternative, if someone can get to the registrar's office and see if they have the for public campaign information available, if you listen to campaign number email, because that's kind of tricky for me to pull off on my lunch hour.
So would I have to go personally to do that? You
They
to go
don't have
in?
it on their website, so I'm assuming so.
Next time I go to a Board of Soups meeting, I will, it's not going to be this week because I'm not doing it this week, but maybe next week.
Okay. Thank you, Julia. I appreciate that. Nancy, I see your hand is raised.
Actually, I just have something for Julia.
Oh,
If
lovely.
that's okay. Are
I
we
love
done with the
this.
other? Julia, first of all, will you send me the chat like you did last time, the whole
Of
thing?
course. The whole thing.
That worked, yeah, the whole thing, because that worked out well. I just, picked out the things I needed to do. So if you could just shoot it off to me. The other thing.
And send it to me too, okay, Julia?
Oh, okay. The other thing is, Julia, on Saturday, I'm going to be in the Vallejo area, and I was wondering if would you like me to pick up the flatware for the fundraiser, and I can start organizing it and kind of get it?
Yep, you are more than welcome.
Okay, I'll text you with it to get a time that's convenient for you to pick it up. Okay, that's it for me.
Thank you so much.
I put it in the chat, but for Denise Dix, I said I put it in the chat, but for Denise Dix, you should ask for her Solano County candidate media sheet, which will list her contact information. But because her race is still open until Wednesday, because the incumbent is not running, that form might not be available until Thursday. Just FYI.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Amber. That's good to know. So, Julia, it wouldn't matter if you were going to the Board of Supervisors this week anyway. That information might not be there. So,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like it's imperative that we get it like right this second. I was more thinking that we could get it done before.
Well, I'll be honest, I kind of need to get the information by the end of this week anyway.
Okay, well then don't ask me for things.
Well,
One thing, is this the board and the alternates? I have one comment. Our meeting was so long, but I would like to send you the League of Women Voters information regarding SAVE. And I can also send you that link just in case you were interested in it. Two very important things, call to action from the League of Women Voters, which I'm a member. I'll send them to you, Jeannie.
That's a great Thank idea. You. Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm leaving. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Francis. Where'd John go? There she is. Okay. John, there you are. Okay, good. And you're in the League of Women Voters as well, correct? Oops, you're muted, Gian.
I said